So Dewanna Bonner is a player for the Indiana Fever right now. One of the greatest players of all time. One of the all-time greats. Was the kind of, for me, probably the most shocking of all the free agent signings was Dewanna Bonner. I think it was genuinely like a huge surprise because I didn't think that, I just assumed Dewanna Bonner was going to go play with Alyssa Thomas. I think everyone just assumed Dewanna Bonner was going to go play with Alyssa Thomas. And it turns out, not only did Dewanna Bonner not end up going to play with Alyssa Thomas, turns out that she had an option that would have almost certainly, you would have thought, guaranteed her a championship. And she chose not to go there and go to Indiana instead. And that you can see here from The Athletic. The Lynx also explored trading for Thomas. League sources told The Athletic, and looked at signing her fiance and former Sun teammate Dewanna Bonner. So the Minnesota Lynx wanted to sign Alyssa Thomas. I don't know what they would have had to have given up for Alyssa Thomas, but they were looking to sign Alyssa Thomas and get Dewanna Bonner. It also said Phoenix also heavily courted Bonner. League source said, yet the desire to win immediately, among other factors, led Bonner to the Indiana Fever. She chose to not go play with a team that where the referee's ignoring a cha-cha slide and then a clean block and giving free throws away from winning a championship because she wants to win. How good are this Fever team going to be? Like, how good do these free agents think the Fever are going to be? It says here, all 5 last season regular stars, obviously that is the Connecticut Sun, left free agency. Including 3 who'd spent their entire careers, a collective 23 seasons with the organization, which was A.T., Bree Jones, and Dejanay. One of those players, Alyssa Thomas, saw and moved to a championship contender, Phoenix, with superior facilities. The Lynx also explored trading for Thomas. League source told The Athletic and looked signing her fiance. That is a mad one. Because, good find, it was buried in the article. Lynx are an incredible organization, but the Indiana Fever have fan support. They're the best free agents. And you've got Caitlin Clark. But remember, this is one of the funniest tweets of all time, because this was on the 28th of January, and by the 1st of February, the Indiana Fever had Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, and Dewanna Bonner. that was a mad one. But Vets went there ring chasing. That's the craziest thing, is that it is the ring chase spot for Vets. Obviously, Lexi Brown saying the old Twitter fingers didn't want to go, and we're saying that no one wants to go to Indiana. Then Lynx adversity that underdog narrative loaded to fuel them until October. I mean, the Lynx are so good. I still can't believe Dewanna Bonner chose Fever over the Minnesota Lynx. That is a shock. I think, by the way, a big reason, the one was very interesting why she chose the Indiana over Phoenix Mercury, but I do think she's near her kid, so that is a big reason why she chose the Indiana Fever. Genuinely, I think it's a big reason for it is because she's close to her kid, and that was a big reason. And people thought she was going to retire because she wants to spend more time with her kids. So obviously, if she's in Indiana, it helps. This is interesting because I see the Lynx, a formidable team Indy needs to beat. So to hear a vet like Dewanna Bonner say this is good for Indy's aspirations. There's a rumor she saw a pretty compelling episode from the Logo podcast, which apparently helps push her across the finish line. Oh, sorry, that's her. That's her show. Bonner chose the Fever because we have the fan support. I do think choosing between Courtney Williams and Ty Harris for point guards wasn't... I like Courtney Williams as a player. I think Courtney Williams is good. She just kind of bought into her own hype a little bit down the stretch in the finals. But she was good in the playoffs last year. Heck, her dad was the mascot. Here's me in a picture with him. And yeah, hopefully when I go to the next WNBA finals, if the Lynx are in it, hopefully it's against the Fever and I can retake that picture and be in significantly better shape. But yeah, so we've got, it says here, Dewanna Bonner's for favorite. Dewanna Bonner, no thanks, Cheryl Reeve, USA, passed on me. No. Gino Auriemma passed on her. She's played for Macedonia. She's a naturalized Macedonian player. She's never played for USA. She can't play for USA, a little bit like John Quell. Jonquel, obviously she's Bahamas, but if she hadn't played for, is she Bosnia? She knows where the money's at. Was the fade over Minnesota, the face over Minnesota and Phoenix, but I thought no one wanted to play in Indy. Can't wait till the season starts. It's going to be so interesting to see what way. She said y'all not winning anything to the Minnesota Lynx. Yeah, you know what? Take it personal. Take it personal. I still think the Lynx have the best starting five in the WNBA. I rate all of them so high. You've got one of the most underrated players in the league, Richard Carlton. You've got the best player in the world in Nafisa Collier. You have got one of the best centers in the WNBA in Alana Smith. You've got Kayla McBride, who's insanely good. And still can't believe the Fever got rid of Alana Smith. And if you're going player for player, Indiana have a huge advantage at point guard. Indiana have a small advantage at two guard, a small forward, power forward, and center. There's a non-insignificant, quite a decent chunk of a gap between, like Alana Smith's better than Leah Boston. You've got, well, debatably, I think she's better. You could argue either way. Fee is way better than Tasha Howard. All three teams are win now mode. The deciding factor is being closer to her children. Yeah, that's probably pretty much it. She has a relationship with Amber Cox. She also has a relationship with Stephanie White. Either way, though, like the fact that like teams are going to Indiana for a win now move, and like it's not crazy to see players want to go to a team for a win now move. Like if you like look, a lot of the top players by year three, Stewie won a title because these players are coming out 4 years in college. So it's a little bit like an NBA player being in year 6. Like Stewie came out and won a ring year 3. Aja Wilson made the finals year 3. So you're looking, and it's not uncommon to see these players going to rookies for win now moves. Especially because they can get paid while they're on their deal. While they're on their rookie deal. But if you will look at the 2016 Seattle Storm. So you want to look at this 2016 Seattle Storm season. Like, they were okay that year. Obviously, they got Breanna Steward as their pick. They went below 500. But if you look at this team, they had Alicia Clark, Stewie was there, Sue Bird was there coming towards the end of her career. They still had Jewel Lloyd, but Jewel Lloyd was only in year 2. But then you look at the second season, the next season, suddenly Sammy Whitcomb's there. You've got, well, again, you're still a decent enough team, 15 and 19. Geez, I didn't think they were going to be that bad. But then you look in 2018, and suddenly they pick up Jordan Canada, who was a rookie. They get her as a high pick. Natasha Howard comes, which is big as a win now player. Obviously, they got Mercedes Russell. Was she in the draft or the year before? Sammy Whitcomb's still there. Sue Bird's still there. So Natasha Howard makes that win now move in year 3. With the Aces, if you want to look at what the Aces did in the 2018 season, so this was Aja Wilson's rookie year. They were 14 and 20. And by the way, like again, back-to-back number ones, Aja Wilson couldn't get her team to a 500 record, and they got number 1 pick again. But this is a team that's like not ideal. Like Kayla McBride's a decent enough player. Aja Wilson's there. Like, it's not like they're this exceptional team. Like, they did have Izzy Harrison. I think they had Dearica Hamby, who at that stage hadn't really progressed into the player she was going to be. The 2019 season, coming off her rookie season, they bring in Liz Cambridge. They bring in her as a win-now player to help Aja Wilson after that first season. And in the next season, they bring in Angel McCautry, who, again, was a top-tier player. Like, Danielle Robinson's okay. She was an okay player. But they brought in Angel McCautry that year, who in the playoffs, when they made it to the final, was their best player. Even though Aja Wilson was MVP in the playoffs when they made the finals, their best player was, in fact, Angel McCautry. So, it's very common to see players. It's very rare after the rookie year. But it is very common to see players do this as after their second year. But now with the whole CBA and her coming towards the end of her career and Caitlin Clark being not that much better, but a better rookie than Aja Wilson and Breanna Stewart was, you can see why players were making this type of move, especially if She's next to her kids, and if she does want to re-sign Indiana for another year or two to finish out her career, no one's going to make the game easier than having Caitlin Clark on her team. But anyway, I'll see you guys.